This week's Torah portion of Parshat Haazinu is very, very difficult to understand because in the end of the day, it is a poem. It is an entire discourse that Moses offers to the Jewish people regarding the beginning of time, the end of time, what's in between, and ultimately the rapport that we need to create with God. But one of the verses resonated with me in particular, and that is as follows. The Torah says, Moshe says, Hatzur tzur yiladecha teshi vatishkach el mechol. Says the translation, you ignored the rock who gave birth to you and forgot God who brought you forth. In other words, we are supposed to remember God, but at the same time, we forgot him and forgot things that are obviously vital and important in our lives. Rav Kook offers a tremendous insight, and he says something that often a rabbi would tell us when I was younger, and that is God bestowed upon us a gift to be able to forget. We would think that that's not true. We want to remember everything. We want to embrace everything. When we learn and we study, we want to remember those facts. But in actuality, forgetting at times is very important and enables us at times to be able to survive and to continue on a daily basis. Says Rav Kook, HaKadosh Baruch Hu itbi'a becha et tkunot ha'shechacha. God has infused within us the attribute, actually, of being able to forget. So that there are times in your life when you will experience challenges, obstructions, pain, difficulty, and those things are things that we do need at times to forget. Now, I was reflecting upon this because the truth is that I live in constant pain with the loss of my daughter, with the loss of dear Gila. Many of us experience that pain consistently. And so there are times when we need to forget. What do we need to forget? Not to forget Gila, chas v'shalom, God forbid, but we need to forget and put aside that pain for moments in order to be able to survive, in order to be able to continue on a daily basis, in order to be able to function, to contribute to society at large, and to contribute to our family and to our society as we know it. Well, sure enough, there are times also that at the same time, we never want to forget. In fact, it's interesting. Sometimes people will avoid speaking about Gila to me because they think that it causes me pain, when in actuality, it's just the opposite. Most people who are grieving or bereaved, and certainly loss of a child, they want to speak about that person. They want to speak about that child because that reminds them that others have not forgotten their child, who they never want to be forgotten. They want to perpetuate their memory. We want to speak about things. We want to remember things. We want to cherish those memories, enhance them for the sake of infusing them in our lives as we somehow continue to surge and move forward. And so what the Torah is describing is a state of euphoria, which on the one hand, we have to use the power to forget certain things. And so that pain does have to be laid to rest at times in order to be able to function. But at the same time, there are certain things that we can never and should never forget, such as Uzechartani v'lo tishkach. The Torah says, Vatishkach el mecholalecha. You forgot your God. You forgot the rock that is giving you the premise, the foundation for your existence. No, there are certain things that we should never forget. And that is God, Gila, the relationships that we have with people. Even though at times forgetfulness can serve as a blessing, there are certain things, attributes, characteristics, values, foundations that are never to be forgotten. This time of Yemei HaZikaron, days in which we are supposed to reflect and remember, we have to also remind ourselves that there are things that we do need to forget and put on the wayside, such as the fact that we have sinned and we have done, perhaps we have behaved wrongly. We got to remember that, but we also need to forget and understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, is willing to forgive and forget. He's willing to grant us the opportunity to surge and to move forward. He's willing to allow us to write a new page. And so we do need to forget certain things. We need to forget sometimes the pain of loss in order to perpetuate a life. But at the same time, I would never forget Gila. Just like Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, are never allowed to forget the source of their life, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God. These days of remembrance are days in which we are to remind ourselves that we need to forget at times certain things for the sake of living, but there are certain foundations and values that we are always supposed to remember and never forget. Hopefully, as a result of embracing and understanding that fine balance, we will all be zoche and merit to have a Shana Tova, a Gmar Chatima Tova, a Shabbat Shalom, and Yom Kippur should usher within it true, sincere atonement and understanding of our relationship with God as such. This is the Torah way, it is the Jewish way, and it always will remain the Gila way. Shana Tova.